Alex was just saying, would I like an opener? In case you missed that.
We're right on schedule here, and it's going swimmingly. I think we should do an opener.
I think I should do an opener.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I should do an opener. So one of the highlights of my evening, and I can say this, I'll give you a little insight into the locker room prior to the game. I didn't know how the team was going to react after the, debacle in Portland. And I didn't know if the players were going to put too much pressure on themselves. Didn't know if, they would react, with their brains as much. I knew their hearts were in it. I knew they were going to come out and give me energy and all that. But sometimes coaches get nervous, and sometimes you want to lighten the mood. And when Nuhu, came up with the migraines, and it's, Kellen stepped in. Yeah, it's a little bit of drama, a little bit of, okay. And so to lighten the mood and to kind of give Kellen Rowe a shout out, I said, well, look, okay, Nuhu does this, but Kellen can do this with his right foot. He can play Leo in behind, and using Kellen's speed is going to be important in the game. And I don't know if the guys really truly appreciated the joke. I thought it was funny until after the game when, and I want to go on record, Kellen Rowe has 350 appearances in MLS play. All comps. I mean, that is a tremendous career for a guy from Federal Way. I couldn't be prouder of him coming back home and, doing exactly what we need at the right time. I think that's a really success story, and I couldn't be prouder of the kid, the young man, the old guy, the experienced guy. Sorry, Kellen, the experienced man. Congrats to him. And then the other thing, and I'm sure someone like Jeremiah is going to ask me this, but 5 shutouts at home is a club record, 5 consecutive. And I'm very proud of that because we had discussed that, we had messaged it publicly, internally about, making sure that Lumen Field is a place where teams cannot steal points off of us. And, so far so good. 5 shutouts at home. I'm very impressed with that. That doesn't just mean Steph, but that means, Alberth, Raul, Freddie, Jordan came on, good energy. Dylan Tevis had a good game when he came on, being aggressive, pressing higher up the field. JP, obviously, Jackson, Yaimar. It was a good defensive effort tonight.
All right, with that, we'll start taking questions in the room like usual. If you're joining us via Zoom, welcome. Please go ahead and hit that raise hand function button so we'll get to your questions too. But for now, we'll start in here. Absolutely. Here comes the mic.
So what did you see from Minnesota in this game? It seemed like they did a good job frustrating the offense.
Well, Jeremiah, yes, they did a good job. I was complimenting the opponent and coach, and I love Adrian. He's a great coach, good guy. His teams are always up for it. At some point, the streak that we have going against him is going to end. So games like tonight are tricky. But I thought it was just, we had to revamp some things, and, Alberth playing up a line and Obed, and then I switched him at halftime. That didn't really work, and Jordan playing the midweek, and, Alberth's first game, what were the expectations for Alberth? I mean, he hadn't played in a while. So I think there were some things on our side that may have contributed to kind of, whatever it was, 60, 70 minutes of, good possession, but nothing really to show for it. If that answers your question.
Maz?
Brian, having said that, just how satisfying, important was it? You referenced this
That Portland loss today?
No.
Oh, okay.
But but in terms of Portland, you did talk about grinding it out. So I just want to reference that. How important, or was it satisfying for the team, like you said?
Yeah, well, the team, we were talking on the bench starting after Albert had scored. Okay, when do we want to shut it down? When do we want to be conservative? You feel the game in those moments. I thought we had good control of the game. We were still creating chances. So I waited a little bit longer to bring Javi on, just because I thought we had good control of the game. But yeah, we grounded out. We won 1-0, and those wins are important.
Coach, first time that Sounders have 3 Brazilians starting the game. You comment on Alberth and JP. Can you talk a little bit about Leo?
Yeah, all 3 of them were very good. Leo continued to develop into a good player. You saw how dangerous he was. Alberth, again, what were the expectations? I had, expectations. Yeah, it was his first game. And JP always plays with that tenacity, that passion. I loved it. I thought it was great.
We'll go back here. Pregunta en español o en inglés? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Nora with Miraflores Radio. First of all, congratulations on
Thank you.
tonight's win. However, the team seemed to suffer a little tonight. Do you think that's due to last week's loss or the absence of important player like Ruiz Diaz?
Sure. I mean, Raul was just coming into form. I would agree there. It was, a disappointment. But obviously, I have confidence in Alberth. I have confidence in Freddie Montero. We played Jordan Morris up front. So we were missing more than just Raul for this game, and I think that impacted a little bit. But certainly, I was hoping that Raul could continue and continue to help the team for sure.
John, we'll go to you next.
Alberth was asked to play a couple different roles today, gets the goal to give you the winner. How did you think he performed in those roles, and what do you think of his goal?
Well, it was a great goal. It was a very good, well-taken goal, well-struck goal. It shows Albert's quality. Yeah, I mean, look, the whole narrative about Alberth coming to Seattle, there's been talk about, okay, he moved back a line, he's normally up higher up the field, and does he score enough? Does he get enough assists? But then I'm the one that's playing him back a line, and then I move him tonight from up to back, and then, I feel for Alberth sometimes, but he's a pro. I mean, anything he can do to contribute to the team, he'll do it. So, tonight is just a reward for him for, persevering through, sometimes, my version of where he should play.
We'll go to Jeremiah next for follow-up, and then we'll come back around to Owen, and then I saw some other hands. We'll get to those too. Jeremiah, go ahead.
You sort of mentioned this, but in the change between Obed and Alberth, what was the hope there, and did it have any effect of having him in that position later on where he ultimately scored from?
The reasoning behind it, Jeremiah, was I thought we were kind of stuck on the right-hand side, and that's no disrespect to Alex and Alberth, but they just haven't played together. It's different when Christian and Alex play together. They played like that in their backyard when they were young. So what I wanted to have was a younger player to try and check and go. Christian was actually in the locker room at halftime, and I kind of gave my little spiel, and I told him that we were going to switch Obed, and I whispered to Christian, I said, hey, Christian, go talk to Obed, give him some pointers. And Christian did, but it was, again, to your question, it was a little unfair to Obed because he really hasn't played that position, but I wanted the youthful energy to try and get in behind. And did it work, Jeremiah? I don't know. It was kind of good. I mean, a couple times Obed went in behind, but we didn't see him. So that would be a work in progress. I still think Obed's better in the middle of the field. But, we were struggling, so we tried stuff.
Owen.
Yeah, you already talked a little bit about the rotation up front, but do you think developing the skill to kind of play with a different forward in different sets and different phases of the game is something that the team is developing? Is that something they already have?
I mean, I think we already have it. Look, we got a bunch of smart soccer players, so whether it's Raul up front or Alberth or Montero or Jordan, the team adapts. You know, I think we have had this group together. Alberth is the new guy, but everybody likes him and he's fit in well. I think everybody understands each other's strengths and weaknesses, so I think that's a plus. I think it's a bonus because we can have different looks that might, you know, help us down the road.
We'll go to Nico next. While we're passing the mic, reminder for those on Zoom, if you'd like a question, please hit that raise hand function button so we can get into your inquiries. Nico, go ahead, please.
Hey, Brian. So now that it's been about a solid month of JP back in regular season action, I wanted to get your thoughts on his performance tonight.
Good. I mean, it's like having a new player back. You know, we missed him last year, especially in the stretch run. What I always love about JP is he makes everybody around him better. I think that's one of his qualities. You know, you have standout players, you have players that are dynamic, you have good players, you have technical players, you have goal scorers, players that make others better. That's a good quality to have.
Okay, Mike will come back around. Maz, did you still have a follow-up? Okay, let's go to you next, please.
Brian, and this is about your different looks up forward with the forward positions. Freddie Montero today, I'm asserting that his kind of presence inside the box made a difference, and obviously on his ability on the hold up off the pass, the flick kick to the goal. Can you just talk about his intelligence, his ability to kind of what the role you had him play today?
Yeah. We always talk about, and sometimes the players don't do it, but we always talk about on throw-ins deep in our attacking half of the field to throw the ball into the penalty box because good things can happen. If there's a foul, it's a penalty. If you are able to establish possession, the defenders have to kind of lay off because they don't want to give up a penalty, so the attacker actually has maybe a little bit of an advantage. And in this case, you know, Freddie or the defender or whatever it was, you know, under pressure, I thought it was a veteran savvy move that Freddie does all the time. He's a very smart soccer player.
Last call for follow-ups. John, why don't you take us home here?
Brian, I'm a little curious about the subs with in regards to Morris and Alberth coming off in the 66th minute. Was that a planned time concern for making those substitutions, or was that a game state decision?
Alberth was on a time limit. Jordan was on a time limit. It just worked out.